Good morning! Again, this is another day, a new day, and it's gonna be a great day. Why? Because what are we talking about?
Jobs that we've worked and we hated.
Exclusive hot new
Coffee with the Crockers. So, why do we want to talk about this?
These jobs, they were not fun, but they did set us up for later in life.
They really have. And I'll just dive into this real quick. I used to work at the airport. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I used to work on airplanes. Oh, wow, that's awesome. No, I was the guy that scrubbed airplanes at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was that guy. So when I first got the job, it was Certified Aviation Services. And so when I went for the interview, they're like, yeah, you have to work on airplanes. Cool. I'm a huge airplane fanatic. I like that stuff. And so I asked him, well, what are we doing? He said, don't worry about it. Just whenever you come out the first day, you know, you'll figure it out. And I was like, all right, cool. I show up. No one else in the crew shows up. I'm the only one. We were scrubbing airplanes by hand. These big airplanes that hold hundreds of people. Yeah, that was me in the middle of the night scrubbing them by hand with a little squeegee. It was terrible.
That's hilarious because we were cleaning the office the other day, as you know, and I literally found a badge that said the aviation.
You
whatever.
Found that?
Yeah, and I thought it was like had something to do with your drone. One of my first jobs that I disliked the most was being a server, or as some people like to, or know
a
of
waitress.
it as, a waitress. I worked at a sports bar, not kind of like Twin Peaks, but you didn't have to dress so risque, or Hooters for those of you that don't know what Twin Peaks is. It was what you would imagine that to be. You're around drunk dudes all the time, and then I don't know, it just wasn't fun. It was not a fun experience. I liked the other girls that worked there. You know, some of my best friends worked there and stuff, but it was just probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
Another job that I had was UPS. And no, you can't become a driver unless you've worked there for a long time. I loaded the trucks in the morning to get delivered that day. And I'd have to go again at like 2 in the morning. I was loading, and it was the worst job ever. And I hated it. And if any of you guys work in the warehouse at UPS, you know what I'm talking about. It is not fun. I had a quota, and every 3 seconds I had to load a package. Not just load the package, but mark the package on where it was supposed to go in the truck, circle it, and then put it in the truck. And there's like, I think like 12 or 15 different spots you got to put it. So in 3 seconds, I had to grab a box, look at it, mark it, put it in the truck, come back and grab another one. So it was just bam, 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 bam. A big box was coming around the conveyor belt. It fell off, it landed on my hand, it broke my finger, and they only let me work an hour a day because they didn't want me to tell anyone, because they were trying to get the 60 days, no injuries, whatever. So I quit.
With that being said, I forgot to put sugar in my coffee.
So I'll talk to you for a minute while she's gone. Another job I had that it was great, but it was terrible at the same time. It was great because I got some of our dogs from there. But I worked at a dog daycare boarding training facility. I liked most of the people that worked there. I liked all the dogs that worked there for the most part. The horrible part was I literally cleaned up poop and pee all day, every day, for 12 hours a day. Talk about a job.
I'm back. So another job I worked at that was also not very fun. I worked at a call center. That was I worked there the longest out of any job I've ever had. And it was day after day, 8 hours straight on the phone, no break. You literally get 2 15-minute breaks and one lunch break, but other than that, like, you don't get a break. It's phone call after phone call after phone call. That was the most, how do you say it?
Demanding?
No, like,
repetitive?
Yes, like, it was just same thing every single day, no substance. Kind of like being a zombie. On the last job, I would say, is being a stewardess. I wasn't a stewardess on an airplane. I was actually a stewardess on a luxury bus. It was fun, but man, people are crazy.
So basically the same thing you got to deal with in a call.
Yes, but face to face and not over the phone.
So the reason we wanted to talk about these jobs and stuff that we've been through, I've done it all, anything you can think of, and it literally taught me you got to work hard for what you want. You're going to have to wake up at all hours of the night and day. It's the same thing as working here in the homestead. You gotta wake up at all different times. I cleaned up dog poop for a living. Now I clean up goat poop for my life, a living. And so it started to get me used to all this type of stuff, that just the hard work and the dedication that this homesteading life takes.
Working all those jobs, yes, it was terrible throughout the times, but in the end, it had taught me patience. It had taught me how to deal with different types of people in different situations, and how to stay level-headed in those situations, and how to not, how to think on my feet and take action when I needed to.
So basically, like when we get these horrible comments and Jared and I just want to tear them up, and Janelina sits back and she answers them very calmly and correctly if the comment's not bad enough that we got to delete.
So working all those jobs taught me how to come out of my shell. That was the biggest thing for me. I used to be very, very shy, very closed off. I didn't do a lot of stuff, and I didn't hang out with a lot of people. And if I did hang out with big groups of people, I was to myself. Being around so many people all the time really brought me out of my shell. Be comfortable and just, let loose and kind of not be so shy all the time.
So we want to hear what your worst jobs were ever. And I know some of you have been alive a lot longer than we have, so you probably have done it all. So please, please, please comment below on the worst jobs you've ever had, but what it taught you at the same time.
And with that being said, we can't wait for you guys to see what the rest of the day holds for us.
So we will see you guys later on our daily vlog.
And if you happen to have to watch this later than the morning, we just want to say anytime is a great time for a coffee break.
So we'll see you later.